and we are aiming to close the gap between African-born women living in the United States and Black-born women living in the United States. So that is our effort. We come in love, peace, happiness, and joy. If you and I were to switch bodies, tell me something that I would love to experience as you.
Oh, that's easy. That's gonna be Ethiopian food. Oh, you will enjoy the different types of spices. We have the same spices, but we mix them up, so it's a different combination. African art, but they're Ethiopian art. Yeah.
The countries I've seen. Yeah, you'd be surprised. Never in my wildest dreams did I ever think I would go to Russia. Not just once, but twice. I've gone to the Middle East, Israel, the Asia. I've been to Japan. I've visited. I have performed in every state of the union except Hawaii. So as much as I've traveled, I think that was something that you would love.
To have the option to not work full time.
And so it gave her some insight to understand what Africans go through when they're in Italy and not being accepted.
It was very strange for me because, I'm Black, and you see another Black person, you think that, well, this is my sister, this is my brother, but the feeling wasn't mutual, or it's not what you expected. So that was just my experience. And what helped me a lot is because I have an education, and I always say that it's good to be educated. When you're educated, you look at things differently. It doesn't matter where you took your education, whether it's in Africa, in America.
I grew up in a mostly Black community, but we went to, predominantly white schools. But the people that we got picked on all the time. I mean, people always picked on you for so many things. I mean,
we embraced that. We embraced everybody. If you were a stranger and as you look like me, then you were a friend.
How are you fearful of where you come from or who you are if you don't know what's over there? And again, it's that social media.
I think 90% of my class was immigrants, so the diversity was built in. But I really understand that as I grew up and made friends or realized that I'm not always accepted as African, as Black, right?
It creates the biases, right? And if you experience something, then you're like, oh, you know what, then it must be true. But having experienced that, I realized that, in praying, I'm a woman that prays and just like, okay, God, maybe if everybody was the same, because this doesn't make sense. We're here in Massachusetts being African, struggling to make relationships because, at that point it was very segregated as well. And so having met people that look like us, we thought that would be a lot easier, but it wasn't turning out that way. But that did not put us off because realizing that it's personalities, so each people are gonna have their own personalities, and that's just who they are. And again, from where they're coming from. And so that did not stop me from, just reaching out and realizing, like Rachel said, it's individual and not so much, but also being very intentional about making sure that we close the gap that is, because stronger.
Playing a big part in it to make us think how they want us to think. And it's going back to that divide and separation again.
When people don't know, they don't know. And a lot of things are passed down from the people that we're raised by.
Together we're stronger and
bringing us closer, connecting for a while.
Thanks for attending.
We share our stories, we share our hearts. Each name a spark that connects our heart.